What happens to a bottle of Coca-Cola before it ever reaches your hand? And how can a factory produce billions of bottles while keeping that familiar taste so consistent?
That is the mystery we're about to uncover.
Because behind the simple red label is a manufacturing system built around speed, pressure, precision, and thousands of carefully controlled decisions. But here's the part most people never see. The finished bottle is only the final result of a much longer journey. Then comes the transformation, carbonation, high-speed filling, precision capping, automated inspection, and packaging.
We're ahead of schedule on the output.
Good. Make sure the cappers stay consistent.
Stay with us, because once you see what happens behind those factory doors, you'll never look at a bottle of Coca-Cola quite the same way again.
Here, the ingredients begin a journey where consistency starts long before bottling.
Now, agricultural sweeteners are prepared according to tightly controlled supply specifications. Inside these fields, harvest timing influences the raw material entering global beverage production.
Here, the ingredients begin a journey where consistency starts long before bottling.
Now, agricultural sweeteners are prepared according to tightly controlled supply specifications. Inside these fields, harvest timing influences the raw material entering global beverage production. Beyond the crop, soil conditions and seasonal variation can affect final ingredient consistency.
Batch looks clean.
At this stage, harvested material moves toward collection points serving the processing chain. Within seconds, mechanical handling transfers the crop without unnecessary exposure or damage.
Sample collected.
Under controlled conditions, moisture and cleanliness become early indicators of usable raw material. Here, separated batches are identified before transportation begins towards specialized processing facilities.
Record verified.
Now, traceability links each incoming load with its source, date, and quality records.
Inside the supply chain, standardized handling protects ingredients against contamination and uncontrolled variation.
Beneath the operation, temperature management preserves material quality during temporary holding periods.
Water sample is ready.
Beyond the storage tanks, treated water quality determines whether the finished beverage remains consistent.
Sample sealed.
Across multiple supply streams, every ingredient must converge within precisely defined quality boundaries.
Under controlled conditions, approved materials are released for the next stage of production.
Released for production.
Dispatch is cleared.
Now, the final collection point connects directly with transportation toward the Coca-Cola facility.
Across the supply chain, controlled transportation protects material integrity between separate production stages.
Meanwhile, logistics timing protects freshness, availability, and continuity across the manufacturing network. Beyond the fields, dependable logistics become essential to maintaining uninterrupted factory operations.
At every mile, timing decisions influence how efficiently production schedules can remain synchronized. Now, the journey enters an industrial network built around continuous manufacturing and distribution. Now, receiving becomes a controlled handoff between transportation and internal production logistics. Now, receiving becomes a controlled handoff between transportation and internal production logistics. From outside, the facility appears familiar, but its real complexity remains hidden inside. PPE check complete. Before entering production, protective routines establish the discipline required around high-speed machinery. Within the hygiene zone, contamination control begins before workers reach the production line. Every polished pipe represents another controlled boundary between ingredients, equipment, and finished product. Inside, stainless systems transform carefully controlled ingredients into a globally recognizable beverage. Every polished pipe represents another controlled boundary between ingredients, equipment, and finished product.
Production status is stable.
From this room, small changes can be detected before they become larger production problems. Across the line, synchronization keeps independent machines behaving like one continuous production system.
Between production cycles, sanitation protects the conditions required for consistent beverage quality. Surface check is clear.
Clean surfaces reduce hidden variables that could otherwise compromise an entire production run.
Here, controlled preparation brings separate ingredients closer to their final beverage form.
Small parameter changes can influence texture, carbonation behavior, and the final sensory experience.
Record updated.
Accurate records preserve continuity when thousands of production decisions must remain traceable.
Beyond mixing, the beverage enters conditions where dissolved gas will shape its character.
Carbonation section is ready.
Now, the production environment is ready for the transformation that gives Coca-Cola its characteristic carbonation.
Beneath the visible machinery, sanitary design limits unwanted contact between product and environment.
At this point, equipment condition becomes as important as the ingredients moving through it.
Valve position confirmed.
Mixing stage is stable.
Within the vessel, controlled mixing creates the foundation for consistent flavor across production batches.
Small parameter changes can influence texture, carbonation behavior, and the final sensory experience.
Here, water quality becomes one of the first measurable foundations of beverage consistency. Intake pressure is stable.
Before treatment continues, pressure and flow must remain inside carefully controlled operating limits.
At this barrier, suspended impurities are removed before they can influence later processing stages.
Filter check recorded. Continuous monitoring catches changes early, protecting downstream equipment from unstable water conditions.
Stable flow prevents uneven treatment and keeps every downstream stage supplied predictably.
Fine filtration is stable. Finer filtration provides another protective barrier before water reaches beverage preparation.
This sample provides evidence that treatment remains within the required quality boundaries. Sample collected.
Laboratory checks translate invisible water characteristics into measurable production information. Laboratory checks translate invisible water characteristics into measurable production information.
Measurement recorded. Measured properties provide the evidence needed before treated water enters beverage formulation. Records are complete.
Documentation preserves evidence that treatment conditions remained controlled throughout the preparation stage.
Water is released.
Once approved, treated water becomes ready for integration with carefully prepared beverage ingredients.
Across the facility, treated water now moves toward the stage where ingredients converge.
Here, treated water approaches the controlled blending environment that shapes the beverage's foundation.
All lines are ready.
Inside the sealed system, controlled proportions begin shaping the beverage's final composition.
Preparation is ready.
Beyond water treatment, controlled blending begins the transformation from individual ingredients into Coca-Cola beverage.
Here, carefully controlled syrup preparation establishes the foundation for Coca-Cola's recognizable flavor profile. Within this controlled network, every approved ingredient enters production with documented identity and traceability.
Batch identification confirmed.
Here, carefully controlled syrup preparation establishes the foundation for Coca-Cola's recognizable flavor profile. Batch identification confirmed. Within this controlled network, every approved ingredient enters production with documented identity and traceability. Inside the sealed vessel, controlled agitation helps distribute ingredients uniformly throughout the syrup.
Controlled holding prevents unnecessary changes while the prepared syrup awaits the next stage.
Filtration check complete.
Controlled holding prevents unnecessary changes while the prepared syrup awaits the next stage.
Mixing remains stable.
Stable agitation reduces concentration differences that could later affect flavor consistency.
Batch record matches.
Traceability ensures the correct prepared batch reaches the correct production stage. At this point, treated water and prepared syrup approach their controlled meeting point. Uniformity check recorded.
Uniform composition matters because even small deviations can become noticeable across millions of servings.
After integration, the beverage must remain protected while moving between tightly controlled processing stages. This filtration stage protects downstream equipment while preserving the carefully prepared beverage composition. Now, chilled beverage conditions are prepared for controlled carbonation under measured pressure.
Pressure is steady.
Stable pressure creates the controlled environment needed to dissolve carbon dioxide consistently.
Inside this system, dissolved carbon dioxide gives the beverage its familiar sparkling character. Before filling, the finished beverage remains protected while awaiting synchronized packaging operations. Before filling, the finished beverage remains protected while awaiting synchronized packaging operations.
Beyond blending, the beverage reaches the stage where liquid and packaging finally become one product.
Here, carefully prepared beverage finally enters the high-speed world of automated bottling.
Bottle geometry must remain consistent because filling depends on precise positioning.
Before contact with beverage, each container receives controlled preparation to protect product quality.
Inside this machine, timing determines how consistently liquid reaches every individual container. Within fractions of a second, controlled filling balances speed, volume, pressure, and container integrity. Fill level control protects consistency while quietly removing deviations before packaging continues. Cap supply is stable.
Cap alignment matters because even a small sealing error can compromise the package.
Dry surfaces improve label adhesion and help preserve the package appearance during distribution.
Brand identity now meets precision machinery, where placement must remain consistent across every package.
Individual bottles now become organized units designed for efficient handling and distribution. Secondary packaging protects individual containers while making large-scale distribution more efficient. Protected cases make the finished beverage easier to handle without exposing individual bottles unnecessarily. Case flow is stable. At this point, the beverage has completed its transformation from liquid process to finished package. Stable pallet patterns protect packages while allowing efficient movement through warehouses and distribution networks.
Pallet complete.
Every stable layer reduces handling risk before finished products enter high-volume distribution. Stretch wrapping stabilizes the finished load against movement during storage and transportation.
Package release confirmed.
The transformation is complete, but controlled automation still determines how efficiently products reach consumers.
Inside the warehouse, automation begins tracking finished products long after production ends.
Identification confirmed.
Automated routing reduces unnecessary handling while keeping thousands of finished cases organized.
Rack position confirmed.
Vertical storage maximizes facility capacity without sacrificing traceability or controlled access. Loading sequence is ready. Correct sequencing prevents delays when finished goods move from storage into transport.
Loading sequence is ready. Correct sequencing prevents delays when finished goods move from storage into transport. Clear to load.
Automation has carried the product this far. Precision now determines how it leaves the factory.